I ain't gonna lie, Paladin went hard against Marley on this one. So after Reiner goes 2 for 0 and having to save this man, Zeke had to sit him down and tell him what we already knew. He was like, face it, my guy, you're washed. Let it go. You've got to go. Give that armor back. And Reiner, obviously not wanting to be eaten, starts yapping and pleading his case. He's like, man, I hate Eren, but they jumped me. And besides, didn't you lose a 1v1 against Levi? And after saying that, Reiner gets one last chance to redeem himself. Reiner knew that Mappa was animating this one, and he saw how them boys treated Maharaga. And with his build, he thought he was getting the same treatment, like a white kid going to a black barber for the first time. He thought he was set, but even Mappa couldn't save this man, cause the scene starts off and we see Reiner spawning in, looking clean as hell. And for what it's worth, them boys at Mappa once overworked for nothing. Cause this man was moving smooth as hell, taking out cannons and stuff. But I'm crying. Bro's idea of redeeming himself is getting into easier lobbies and feasting on bots. But the writers didn't have his best interest at heart, cause he gets beamed like crazy. And the writers were trolling too, took this man's arm clean off and everything. Had him hitting the jets, but luckily he took out the train and starts crashing out. And just as he was getting some screen time, the writers started trolling again, had him laid out on the ground. And Zeke had to give him that disappointed father look. It's like, really, Reiner? These are regular humans, dog. How are you still getting washed? So after the war, Reiner returns home and recounts his story, telling everyone that he was the strongest on that island and that the only reason he left was because they were treating him like a Mappa employee, working 160 hours a week, eating nothing but British cuisine, straight steaming potatoes and tea for lunch, breakfast and dinner. Which I mean is not wrong. I'd conquer other nations too if that's all I ate. So while Reiner was moving like an emo kid who just got rejected, deep throating an entire assault rifle, which is crazy, Eren catches wind of Reiner's lies, and he crosses the ocean just to pull up, wanting nothing but smoke, even cutting off his leg. And I'm watching this kid for Reiner, cause bro's moving different. Just not the Eren nigga from season 1. So Eren tracks Reiner down and starts pressing him. I heard all that shit you were saying online. What's good? Where's that energy, my guy? And Reiner, knowing that he's a fraud, starts begging this man on all fours. This kid was in shambles seeing his hero like this. So while this is going on, outside, Willie Tybur was out here preaching that Eren was bitch made and telling him to pull up. So Eren said bet and pulled up. He one-tapped this man and devoured him whole. Arms, legs, penis and everything. And and although Eren is naked, he got that shit on though. Mappa already cooked with this one. Eren crashes out. He sees these civilians and he starts crowd surfing in his Titan form. On human. Nah, bro's moving different. The Warhammer Titan spawns and Eren's like, the fuck? Mappa made this. Ain't no ones. And I ain't gonna let you power up. This ain't Dragon Ball. So he checks her and starts putting the paws on her, giving her that left-right treatment. The Warhammer Titan is like, alright bro, enough of this free eat, and impales this man. Had his feet dangling in the air like a young rapper waiting outside of Diddy's bedroom. The Warhammer spawns a hammer and goes for the kill, but Eren weaves out the way. Looking clean too, she stabs his toes and the army starts peppering Eren with artillery. And the Warhammer Titan takes this chance to blow Eren's arms and head clean off. The Warhammer Titan's like, yeah, Mappa made this, my guy. Ain't no ones, we jumping. And then Eren was like, oh, I know. And just then Mikasa and the scouts pull up and starts farming kills. Mikasa blows the Warhammer's nape and thinks it's GG's. But the Warhammer is built different. She spawns a whole Bleaky and starts beaming. And Mikasa is a whole ass demon because she calls ISO and she actually had this man on the rope, taking out his arms and sights, everything, buying Eren enough time to figure out that the Warhammer Titan isn't like traditional Titans. So he spawns in again. This time, he finds the person controlling the Warhammer and then disconnects her like an Xbox controller. And just as Eren's looking at the Warhammer Titan like Drake looks at high schoolers, unbeknownst to him that someone's looking at him the same way on some 4D chess type timing, the Jaws Titan bites Eren, intending to end the season early, but then Levi pulls up, cutting his jaw and taking his chewing privileges, while looking clean too. And with no introduction whatsoever, this man already knew that it was Levi. Fun size and scaring your ops with your name alone, I mean, I'm telling you, the writers make Levi different. Eren gets bro off him and he tries to dip out, but the scouts are on him like whites on rice. They started jumping this man, using coordinated attacks and everything. His life started flashing before his eyes, but just then, Peek and Zeke pull up to save this man. And while everyone was distracted, the Warhammer Titan tries to sneak Eren, but he blocks and then proceeds to jump out and transform for the 3rd time. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't these people be spamming this shit? Cause I would. To hell with playing fair. Zeke does the only move that he knows, which is throwing rocks, and he calls out Levi for an ISO. And I'm crying, bro's arranging his own funeral. And just then, Armin pulls up, decimating their reinforcements. And just when everyone is distracted, Levi's like,
stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
And takes Zeke out, had him laid out like a carpet and boomed him. And you can't really feel bad for him because, you know, he asked for it. Without Zeke, the scout starts pressing Pete. And just look at the way they were cooking her. They were trying to get her well done. And she must have plot armor because how the hell did she survive this when Reiner, who was armored with like vibranium, couldn't? Anyway, the Jaws Titan goes for Eren just to get decked. But he got that crimson chin, cause he eats that and bites Eren's hand off before getting a few hits in, grabbing his face and intending to end it. But luckily Mikasa comes in for the save. They square up again and the Jaws rushes in for round 2, only to get snuck and get his legs chopped off. Eren palms his face and sends him flying like Sukuna did Megumi, which is counterintuitive, but hey. Eren rips out both of his arms, promoting him into a handicap, stuffs the crystal in his mouth, and lifts him up and uses his jaw to break the crystal, playing Mama Bird. And you would think Eren was like a child tasting sugar for the first time, because of the way he just stood there mesmerized. He starts wailing on the Jaws Titan, smashing his face in, doing no damage whatsoever, instead of just finishing the job. He proceeds to stand around for an hour before deciding to finish the job. But this gave Reiner more than enough time to spawn in, and even my hitting ass had to admit that he was looking clean. They square up for round 3, and I'm watching this with no anticipation whatsoever, because we already saw the outcome of round 1 and 2. They go at it, Eren weaves Reiner's attack and decks him in the face. Reiner tries to play that off like it didn't hurt, but Eren sends him flying and had him laid out with just one punch. And I know that he's not bald, but who does he think he is? But it turns out Reiner's plan all along was to save the Jaws Titan. Now both of them are spent, Eren from fighting the Warhammer Titan and Reiner from getting punched in the face. So they call it quits, and Paladin gets his first W against Marley. But yeah, from a writing standpoint, this season was by far the best season, because they even had black characters, other than what Zeke is.
I spent 3 years sweating beside you to build the railway and trade systems that this island needed. Your people are prospering because of us. We gave Eldia everything we had, Hanji.
And they do my niggas dirty. But this season gave me a scene that I just love, and it's in my top 10. Now, Eren pulls up on Armin and Mikasa, and they start talking for a bit, until Armin decides to sneak Eren with a right. And his ass thought that he was gonna cook. He goes for an attack but gets weaved into an uppercut and chucked away like an unwanted stepchild. Armin gets up, telegraphs the craziest right, only to get weaved and dead. And Eren starts putting the pause on this man, giving him that left-right treatment. And I might be a psycho, but this is probably what Michael Scorsese meant when he said that this is cinema. I mean, it's perfect. I even got me a new wallpaper here. Anyway, the next scene starts off with Levi intending to finally pack up Zeke, just for him to book it and use his scream, turning the others into Titan. And they start hounding Levi like crazy. Meanwhile, Zeke started celebrating his W. He even had the Rip Bozo t-shirt out, but then Levi comes out of nowhere, taking this guy out, damn near cutting him in half. It takes out the second guy without any problem, and Zeke's timbers start shivering, and he transforms. So while Zeke's out here searching for Levi in the trees, scared as hell, and rightfully so, because this man Levi dropped more than 20 Titans, he's nowhere to be seen, and he dropped one of the scariest lines in the entire show.
What gave you the idea that you could escape from me?
Damn. Unsurprisingly, Zeke gets cooked. But hey, A for effort, right? But getting caught by this man Levi is crazy, because he was torturing this man, cutting his feet every time they grew back, going as far as to attach a thunder spear in this man's guts and tying it around his neck. But just like Megumi with his trump card, Zeke pulls the pin, sending them both flying. Anyways, thanks for watching. And that's all, folks. Wait, am I allowed to say that? Legally?